Eve Macaro. What brings you here?
I'd like to go hunting.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here with my review of the film Ballerina. The John Wick franchise has been going on for over 10 years now. We reached the point of John Wick fatigue when it comes to new movies. Even as I'm writing this review, there is a confirmation of a 5th John Wick movie in development. Considering how the last film ended, I'm not sure how they're going to make this whole thing work. The last several years have seen Hollywood's new favorite action hero going out and killing an arena worth of bad guys in every way imaginable. You'd think that some of these villains would get the point and stop trying by now. Keanu Reeves can only supply audiences with a new John Wick movie every 3 or 4 years. This means that if the franchise wants to keep going, someone else is going to have to take the reins in between. This leads us to the latest John Wick spin-off entitled Ballerina, a movie that hopes to take Ana de Armas into the next chapter of the John Wick universe. Ballerina is about a young girl named Eve whose father was murdered by a well-organized cult within the John Wick universe. Having X's slashed on their arms as the only way of identifying one from another, the cult has a lot of members and a lot of resources. Being left an orphan, the New York Continental owner, Winston Scott, brings Eve into the Ruska Roma, where Eve speaks to the director and agrees to join them in order to avenge her father's death. Some 12 years later, Eve has trained viciously to become a formidable assassin for a woman of her stature. Things are moving fast in her career in the underworld until the same cult that was responsible for the death of her father rears its ugly head once again. Hell-bent on revenge, Eve decides to go against the best advice of the Roma and hunt down the cult leaders responsible for the death of her father. Her only lead is a man in Prague, and he points her to the Chancellor's hideout in a wintry Middle European village. However, the deeper she goes into the origins of this cult, the more she realizes the cult has been a part of her life for a lot longer than she realized. Ana de Armas was a Bond girl in the film No Time to Die, and left enough of an impression to make audiences wonder how she would hold up in an action setting. Ballerina is the audience's answer to that question. Ballerina is the best John Wick spin-off project thus far, but that's a low bar in the grand scheme of things. Last year, there was fear regarding the quality of this film after it was confirmed by the movie studio that the film was going to be delayed by a full calendar year in order to add more action scenes to make the film feel like more of a John Wick movie. For a genre that's been done to death, Ana de Armas brings a bit of the fresh air to a series that needs it in the worst way. At this point, audiences know what they're going to get from a John Wick movie: an abundance of violence, a few creative kills along the way. Keanu Reeves also makes a cameo in the movie to bring a little bit of an old-school John Wick familiarity to audiences who are fiending for another film. The best way to describe this film is serviceable. This film in no way, shape, or form reinvents the wheel when it comes to the shoot-'em-up action genre. However, given how weak the first half of 2025's film releases have been as far as quality of movies, Ballerina passes the test for being one of the better releases that audiences are going to see this year. The movie looks just as good as you expect from a John Wick franchise, with a lot of colorful locations, creative cinematography, and world building that the John Wick franchise has been known for. The movie's biggest flaw is the runtime being over 2 hours. With all the reshoots associated with this film, the movie would have been far better off with a little bit of editing by taking 20 minutes out, which would improve the runtime and the pacing tremendously. It's hard to ponder where the John Wick franchise goes after this. Diminishing returns has already plagued the mainline franchise up to this point, and I don't know if this film is going to be successful enough to inspire audiences to want to see a Ballerina run the ball with its spin-off franchise moving forward. If we're playing by the law of taking it for what it is, Ballerina is a fun action movie that is successful at being a popcorn movie for audiences. Just don't expect anything else from this film when it's all said and done. I give this film a 3 out of 5.
You can still leave.
Why didn't you leave?
I'm working on it.